Hey you guys, it's me Max, and today we're here with something a little bit special. This is going to be the kind of like, I guess, pilot episode to any sort of like video review for like video games that I'm wanting to try and dabble in to see how this kind of works. So today we have a game called Factorio. And Factorio is, how do I word this? What's the correct term for this? I believe the correct term is it's a simulation game. But it has aspects of games like Minecraft and other like, pretty popular automate like simulation games, kind of like OpenTTD, which is a personal favorite of mine. And I figured it's it's a I think it's a really fun game. But this file on this world, I've been playing for a few hours because with a game like this that really kind of begins to blossom open and like you really get to see what the game becomes later. You need to be able to, like get time into it before you can properly give any half-ass attempt at a evaluation of a game. Now, before we do this, we'll go to the options. And again, I'm not going to show you guys. One reason why I'm not showing you guys the tutorial for the game and going through something like that is not only for the same reason, but the game does have a free demo on the website, which I will either put right now in a description somewhere on the screen. I don't know. Or if I'm really lazy, I'll just put a link in the description below if you guys wish to, test it out for yourself. And I would recommend that you do, regardless of how you, think about this sort of review I have going on, because one of the reasons even the own game gives for trying the demo is to just make sure that it runs for you fairly easy. And this game does not take a lot to run at all. There's no way it can be that complex. But just in case, we'll show you guys the options, graphics. It's not that bad. Honestly, all of these things, I wouldn't think these would be incredibly, detrimental to you at all. The only thing that might be is the multi-sampling thing. But I just cranked up every option that I could because it's it's a two-dimensional game, but it has a very old school kind of very I guess retro is a word, as hipster and douchey as that sounds, of a graphic style that I really love. And you guys might be able to hear in the background that the music is amazing. It's very, very good music for this game. So, now that's, again, here's your graphics, sound. Again, not a whole lot. I mean, the walking sound volume is a very nice touch. I'm very glad that this game has put that in there. That is a feature that is not in a lot of other games. So, props to on that. So, that's good. Controls, fully rebindable, all of them. So I think that should be, standard for most PC games anymore. I don't mess with any of this, but also the low frame rate I think might like help you with any sort of graphics options, but I've never had a problem with it, so I've never like messed with options that might, mess things up. So I figured we shouldn't, I shouldn't tempt fate really by messing stuff up. So, but there's your basic little option menu. And now, before we go back, again, sorry that the first few minutes of this video was just going to be looking in the pause menu. But the whole point of this game, or I believe the very basic story that the game gives you, is that you are sent by the planet Earth to get some sort of infrastructure going on a foreign planet, so that when the people from Earth, when they arrive on the planet will be somewhat, civilized and be ready to like become like a regular kind of planet, much like Earth. And you were the one person that they sent ahead of you. And basically your whole goal, or one of the most ideal points you can get to in this game, is where everything you do in this game is automated. We'll get out of the pause menu real fast because, again, I do want things to happen in the background. So, and the only thing stopping you from getting to this level of automation and safety for the arriving Earth dwellers are the native population of aliens on the planet. Now, I've never particularly like engaged in a whole lot of aliens. I've only seen like very basic kind of like rudimentary creatures. So, and that's also, if I'm correct, that's all the red Jimmy Jams over here. But thankfully, as you'll see as I take you around the whole little like encampment that I have here, that I'm fairly well safe, so we don't have to worry about dying in this. And after this video also, for anybody who's potentially wondering, I think I'm going to actually start a little bit of a Let's Play series until either I complete this world or I die via alien a-holes. So, now, let's think of a good place to start. Now, I would say, now y'all can see everything again, I've worked a little bit on this. This is all the level of automation that I've managed to get, and this is probably not the super optimal way, but like I'll take you all through. This is how the game looks basically when you have a few hours into the game. It starts to get to this level. But for people who are wanting a kind of basic, kind of more just chilled out version of the game, I think we can swing that real fast. Get picked off the ground because it's gonna bug me. So we'll let the automated stuff run here because it still is accruing things for me. So we'll run up north and start a little bit of a second base here. Now, and of course, from all the power that you can generate that we'll get through in a second, you run just standard little electric poles like you would anywhere else, really. Like just like you see, every day, like in real life. Now, also all these are little gun turrets that I have just on the borders of my entire base, which is really this kind of area. So don't mind those. Those are all parts of like I guess, or yeah, they're all parts of my little like basic defense frame network because I don't know if there are flying aliens or stuff like that. I just haven't experienced that many. So now this game does have like certain elements of games like Minecraft and the whole like it does have crafting in a very rudimentary sense. Again, little basic crafting menu. But one thing actually that we're on this point deserves a really good amount of note is that the game will automatically calculate if you already have the prerequisite resources. For example, actually, okay, this will actually do well, so I can actually do multiple things. Now, we're gonna set up a little basic form of power here, so I can show you guys how how you would probably start. Now, or this is one way you can start. Now, let's see. You see how the offshore pump, which will pump water from the ground up into which will eventually be a boiler and then a steam engine. Now, see how it takes pipes and gears and all these created options? Notice how I don't really have any of those in my inventory. And this is all that there is in my inventory, and of course what's on my quick bar. The game automatically detects the fact that I have what I need. So we're going to craft one of these, and it shows you, doing exactly that, where it just crafts through all the things automatically for you. Now, let's see. Oh, there's a kitty cat on my lap. Hold up, you guys. Down you go, cat. There we go. Now, sorry, I just wanted to get out of the way of, let's see. Now, do I really... Yeah, it's, what, I probably won't keep the particular setup that I used to show you guys the game, really. Or at least not for right now. But I want to, like, show you guys, how basic things would start. Now, you won't always start... Because every map is randomly generated, which also is another kind of, like, Minecraft-like thing. So, not every map will be the same, although I do believe they have seed numbers and stuff. So we'll clear a little basic area out. Now, let's start with our little offshore pump here. This is just a very basic way to kind of get power. Now, from the pump, we need to pump all the water basically into a boiler. And this is, again, it's a very rudimentary way of, like, making electricity for yourself. Because you can eventually get things like solar power and stuff like that. Now, and of course, the boiler requires, like a fuel, which will be coal. Which, luckily, I have a lot of. But, I mean, you might not get as lucky as I did with my original start. So, and we'll make one steam engine real fast. Come on. Come on. Some things do take a little bit of time, but it's nice because it's still better than having to manually create everything yourself. And voila, we have our little bit of electricity. Now, it's not connected to the grid because there's already a grid that exists. So we'll make little electric poles, or I don't have to make some, they're already made. But this is how the electric pole system little works. Now, anything within the little blue square that you see is powered. So we want things, we want a good power network to be distributed across, eventually the entire planet. Hang on, something's in trouble. Okay, this might not happen, actually, you guys. I need to make sure things aren't dying on the border. I think we just had a little bit of an engagement here. Ah, see, there's my point. Now that was one of the smaller breeds of aliens. I think they came from this little camp up north. Oops, sorry. Now, which one of these walls is damaged? We'll get our little repair gun out. Where is it? There we go. Repair the wall back up. Luckily we have turrets, again, at our little borders. So, Now, normally, actually, now that I'm here, this actually brings up a very valid point. The whole thing of automate, or nah, or you know what? I realize that I'm too far ahead to like do this. I'm too stubborn. So, actually, we'll go back and just get rid of everything. Screw it. We're tearing it all down. One thing that can be annoying about these forest biomes is here. Actually, one point that is actually really nice now that I think about tearing everything down is that if you tear stuff down, there's no risk of ever losing, what's inside the boiler or inside of what's inside of anything, and you don't have to worry about things getting broken. They always come back exactly as you place them down, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, let's see. I think I'll actually just go down to my already existing power thing, my existing power generation system in a moment, but this is kind of the point of automation that I wanted to talk to you guys about. That these are all electric mining drills that are hooked up to my electricity system, which, again, we'll get to the source of that in a minute. But they're all automatically pulling stuff out of the ground. Again, they'll just work tirelessly until they physically run out of resources, but you can see in the bottom right, which I can't really show you, but like it'll be like over here. It shows you how much expected resources you're able to get out of it. And the only time you'll have to move them is when it physically runs out. But I've had a lot of these drills set up since I began playing the game. So, as these things keep on chugging away, in this instance, they're over iron ore. And you can do this kind of standard like automation setup with any ore that you find, really. And you can eventually do it with things like crude oil and things like that too, but I just haven't really messed with crude oil all that much. But you can eventually get to the point in the game where the automation setup is where, for instance, in the beginning of the game, you just have this stuff hooked up to just a normal little box or chest or what have you. And then you have to manually ferry it around to furnaces, and then through the furnaces you can make more, you can get basically refined products. But I don't even have to mess with the whole manual act of carting stuff down. So you see, as they begin to move down the transport rails, they go further and further down until they get to this high-speed transport rail, which is another high-tech, is a higher-tech building, which I got through research, which I'll show you that real fast, you guys. Now here is your list of technologies. Of course, yellow is what you can do, red is what you cannot, and green is what you already have done. And this is one of the things I really, really like about this game, is that there's a lot of like things you can do with this, really. And like you can kind of tackle the game in your own way. Like, and I think one of the reasons, say for instance, that all of the herds of aliens are very aggravated at me is because I think I create pollution is probably one reason why. Other than, you know, I exist and I'm disturbing their presence. So I could go, say, for solar energy, which is something I'll do later. It's just, like it says, source of infinite energy, but it's useless at night. So I just want to exhaust what I have. But now, about the whole technologies thing, the only thing that you have to do... Oh, we have something that's out of power here. Why are you out of power? Oh, are we running low on electricity? But yeah. Like, this is, I got very lucky with my coal harnessing, so, about the point earlier about the whole power generation. So I'm able to just automatically, like, send these things to multiple steam engines that I have. And this is what basically generates electricity for my entire plant. Or, I will call it a plant slash whatever you want to, you know, whatever term you would like to use for it. So, one of the whole goals is basically to use your lab here. And you might be able to use more than one, I don't know, but I just know as I've never really tried. So you use these as the lab, and there's several like science packs which you can use, which are another thing that can be automated by assembling machines and stuff like that. Because notice how I have on these transport belts a whole bunch of the little science packs coming out. So I no longer have to manually make those. So that's, you know, a very nice touch about the game, and it's a real like, it's really nice to kind of see where like everything ends up. Eventually, also, I mean, I can probably optimize this a little further, but this is kind of the basics of the game, is that you generate power, you try and, you know, defend from the natives, you increase your technology until you can get to stuff like rocket defense, which is rocket defense needed to defend our landing ships that are coming, basically. So that's stuff you need. That's kind of the whole goal, really, of the game, is to basically do this, and, you know, in the most efficient way possible, get everything that you can within reason to become automated. Like at the start of the game, I would have to manually insert these things into furnaces, and I would be using, you know, stone furnaces instead of steel furnaces. And soon enough, I'll get stuff like electric furnaces. And it's really kind of the base of the whole game, really, is to just kind of create this really kind of self-sufficient system with very minimal interaction that's really needed. And you eventually just kind of keep on doing this over and over and over until you get to the point where you can actually get people to, you know, to land. And I think that's when you beat the game. I don't know for certain. You know, I've never really beaten it. Again, it's something I hope to do. But that's kind of the whole game. It doesn't sound very, like, intriguing, but if you like simulation games like, I don't know, this guy does, then, you know, getting these in a super ideal fashion, like in just the most what's min-maxy kind of way. If you're a person who loves going min-maxy, you love that kind of simulation game, you will love this so much. It is a great game. I've sunk a lot of time to this, way more than I thought I would have, because at first the game didn't. It's a game that isn't like super fun to watch, really, or it's not fun to watch gameplays wise. The reason why you would watch it is, you know, to learn things about, you know, how to better optimize things like splitters, say for instance, and using them properly, or underground belts, things like that. So I mean, that's really the kind of reason why you would, honestly. But I mean, that's really the basics of the game, honestly. And I don't want to go into too much more and to continue to ramble more than I already do, and I know I do. So I think the only thing we have left to talk about is really the price point. And I'm going to let these things go in the background so I can accrue more resources, you guys. But the price point for the initial game, if you wish to buy it from Alpha, is 10 euros or $14. Of course, I'm an American, so I paid $14. For what I'm getting so far for it right now, the bare minimum of the, like, support, the crowdfunding, that's, or however you want to word it, on their site, $14 is like the just get you, you know, access to the game and allows you to do all of that. $15 is completely and totally worth it. Now, I believe there are a couple other price models where you can give more, but you also get more stuff. Like if you pay so much money, you get to have an item in the game named after you. I think the lab is, yeah, the dedicated to David Wall. That's I think the highest tier of money you can give them, but it's nothing crazy. It's not like $300. Like it's like under $100 if I remember correctly, or something like that. Completely and totally reasonable. And if you like the game that much, and you, or at least very least want to give it a try, the demo is free, and it really gives you a basic kind of understanding of what the game is. Hold on, you guys. I gotta feed this some coal here. So I mean, again, I will put it again. I'll put a link, like I said, either, you know, at the beginning of the video or now or in the description, about how you, if you guys, you know, want to go and really kind of play the game for yourself and hopefully buy it. I hope you do. The game is really fun. But I wanted to thank you guys for your time. And in a couple of moments, if you guys are interested in watching and trying to learn a little bit more, or trying to see, you know, how the game kind of unfolds before you're willing to spend that money, because I understand people can be in tough economic positions, such as myself. So if you guys want to watch a little bit more of me trying to, you know, learn this game out and like experiencing what the game has, then I'll put a link now or at the end of this video, basically linking to the next part where it'll begin more the Let's Play and the less analytical style of content. So I think that's all I really have to say. So with that, I will see you guys later, and thank you very much for watching. All right, goodbye.